Tanja Rebel here. I asked her to come over because I've been up to London 2 to 3 weeks over the last couple of months. In August and September. I'm going up there again shortly. And there's been a lot of protests up there where I've seen, filmed a lot of them, for all kinds of things, home and abroad. You know, unbelievable the amount of protesting's going on up there in the Whitehall and the Trafalgar Square area, Westminster. Everything, the main things I've been focused on while I was up there though was the Julian Assange case at the Old Bailey, where that's gone, that's adjourned at the moment, and the judge gives a thing. It's on January the 4th, but he's still imprisoned in Belmarsh, being tortured in prison. Eaton's off at the moment and stuff. But that's another story. That's another big protest what's been up there, and campaigns was the anti-lockdown campaigns, a hell of a lot of that, and I filmed all that. But not much mention, I'm afraid, during all these. I know we've been going through a really major crisis this year. God knows, we all know that, and I'm really upset about that as well. I can't believe how they can put all this anxiety and oppression on a nation over something that's not really much worse than an annual flu virus, in my opinion. But there you go. But anyways, there seems to be like a smoke and mirrors kind of thing going on here, because there's a lot more skullduggery going on behind the scenes in Westminster, the Cabinet Office and places, while this is all going on. And hardly any mention in these protests of the 5G rollout, which has really gained a lot of pace now this year, with all up and down the country they're rolling it out. I mean, EE have got about 112 locations now up and running in the country, including some of London, and all over the place. Vodafone are about 60, I think, and it's trying to find the data on this and stuff. What's difficult, but I know they were doing a test bed in Hammersmith and Fulham in 2018, so I don't know where that's got to. But there's certainly a lot of, I don't like going up there, up into London, because they reckon that they haven't got anywhere in London yet with it, but I don't believe that's true, because I know they can put these antennas everywhere. They put them in drains, under drains and that. And when I was in Trafalgar Square last month, I took some readings one morning there, well, early afternoon, right in the middle of the square, down the bottom of the steps in front of the National Gallery, and I was getting 5,000 millivolts per square metre. And I think, well, I'm stood in an electromagnetic field here, what's not very healthy. In fact, it's like a bog. Yeah. And I'm thinking, well, and I couldn't see any cell towers around me anywhere. And one guy said he told me that he knows a guy who said he reckons they've hidden a 5G transmitter in. I don't know if you've seen Trafalgar Square lately, but there's like, it's supposed to be, there's this artwork, if you're looking straight at the National Gallery on the left, there's an artwork what's supposed to be a muffin or something. It looks more like an ice cream. But it's got, it looks like a Mr. Whippy ice cream. It's got a big cherry on the top with a stalk coming out of it, and it's got, of all things...
and a flake.
No, it's got a big blue bottle on one side. On the other side, it's got that's a flyer. I mean, when I say blue bottle, there was plenty of blue bottles around the square in the protest, I can tell you that. But on the other side, it's got a drone. There's a drone actually on it. It's got like 4 things. It looks a bit like one of these army helicopters, but it's got 4 things spinning on the top of it. But somebody reckons there's a 5G transmitter. Hidden in that. I thought, well, there's definitely a lot of, that's definitely out of abnormal, the readings I'm getting there. Yeah. There must be a powerful tower somewhere near there.
Well, they hide the antenna everywhere as well now for so-called aesthetic reasons, but the antenna can be anywhere, as you say, under the ground, in an ice cream cone, who knows? And that's what's so crazy, because people don't know.
Outside of St Paul's Cathedral, and I was sat having my meal deal on a bench there, and I had my field strength meter out, and I was getting 2,000 and more there. I think, well, bloody hell, you know, and I was looking at, and this was like Cheapside opposite me across the traffic lights. And I looked up on the roofs of some offices there, and it was, I could see, excuse me, the cell towers on the roof. I thought that's where that's coming from, you know. Some of what you see on the council officers' roofs in Newport here on the island, you know.
Yeah.
But anyways, as I say, none of those, that protest and anything, I don't think you've seen any of it on mainstream media. And it's happening all the time up in all over the country, in fact.
It's peculiar. You
on
don't
the
see much of
anti-lockdown
it.
thing, it's all over the country, you know, it's happening.
And all over the world. There are
Yeah.
locked anti-protests all over the world. You don't see, and not to mention the Stop 5G protests as such.
Yeah.
They're completely silenced.
Well, that's what I'm saying though, behind all this, I don't know, call it smoke and mirrors if you like, they've been gently, well I say gently, at speed rolling out 5G all over the country.
Absolutely.
And I know I don't think we're actually turned on the island yet. And they haven't actually, Ofcom haven't actually released the higher bands yet, you know, they're only up to about, I think it's about 4 gigabytes, not gigabytes, gigahertz. Yeah, when it can go up as high, well, 60 and beyond. But they haven't released, they've only released within
Not
that
yet.
band. Not yet, no. But they're saying that 2021 they're going to roll out more, so it's probably going to get in the higher regions, got to, I reckon.
Of course it
What's
will.
your take on all this, anyway?
Yeah.
Tanja,
First of all, regardless of frequency levels, we know now that very low level electromagnetic radiation is damaging, harmful to DNA, to our immune system, to our health, and that is now proven beyond doubt. In actual fact, there's peer-reviewed study upon study upon study upon study. Several recent one Italian one came out quite recently, and they show that electromagnetic radiation is harmful to health and also to the environment, bees, butterflies, etc. So when industry says, "Oh, we don't know yet," and of course they want to sow doubt.
They say there is no danger, basically.
Well, yeah, so they claim, some of them, but they cannot show that it's safe. So first of all, the onus should be on them to show there's not one study showing that it's safe. Why should the onus be on us to prove that it's unsafe, for that matter? And also, we know now that this is something that needs to be looked into, but the mainstream media, as we have already touched upon, is not mentioning it. And they are not willing to look into these serious studies. Instead, they make it into, oh, it's conspiracy, and that's it.
Exactly, yeah.
And a done deal. And that is not fair on the people who have been working day and night now to try to show, especially our politicians who are responsible for our health and to protect us against industry and against when the industry is not following due diligence. When the politicians are not listening, now people are wanting to get through this message, showing them the studies, and they're not listening. And that is a concern. And these anti-lockdown marches, I've said it before, I can totally empathize with it, but we have lost focus, and we need to focus back, put our focus back on 5G, because 5G is the spider in the web, and if you take that out, the rest will eventually fall. Once 5G is in, we will not be able to protest as we partially can do now, because we are then locked into a surveillance grid, a planetary electronic surveillance grid from which we will not be able to escape. So that is why it's so important. Even if you're not concerned about health or environment with regards to 5G, but you should be, you will probably be able to relate to the fact that with the help of facial recognition and antennae everywhere, the thousands of satellites, 100,000 approved eventually, 100,000
It's unbelievable.
in the sky, once that's in, we've had it. And that's why it's so urgent now. And we've had a protest. We've had 4 global protests this year. And the 4th one was 26th of September. I spoke to you before that.
Yes, I was in Trafalgar Square on that day.
Yeah? Well, they mentioned 5G there, and apparently people were chanting "Stop 5G," so at least it was part of it.
Yeah.
But we had thousands, because I asked people, everybody now needs to stand up and say what they think and dare say, "I do not consent to this, because I'm not a guinea pig." Because literally what they're doing is they're rolling out untested technology without any health or environmental impact assessment, independent, I hasten to add, and they are experimenting on us.
Yeah.
And so people in the thousands all over the world stood up and said no. We had our global 5G protest group had, I don't know how many pictures, but they came just streaming in from across the globe. I mean, from Uruguay, Latin America, Peru, India, Japan was part of it, Australia had a global meditation that they initiated, and it became a global meditation for peace and for natural, environmentally friendly living. And 5G is definitely not environmentally friendly because it will increase the amount of energy consumption enormously if you look at the Internet of Things.
The industry seem to be pushing the scenario that it won't, it'll be less power used and all.
Yeah, they claim that.
It's crazy. It's so complicated, this is the problem. And it's easy to sort of pull one fact out from another bag. And it's not true, basically.
That's how they do it, yeah. They put one thing against another.
Truth is turned about and untruth is made.
Yeah, untruth is made indeed. No, but what they disregard is the whole picture. Because if you look at the whole picture, if you look at the 100,000 satellites approved, as I already said, what they are going to do to the ozone layer, what they are going to do for the carbon footprint, because you don't just shoot them up on thin air, what they are going to do to the view of the night skies, for that matter. Astronomers are up in arms about it. So that's already an environmental hazard. But then if you look at the Internet of Things, that needs an enormous amount of energy. So if you look at the whole picture, plus the fact that you have to produce all the gadgets, so the resource depletion, the energy needed to make that.
Selling them by hundreds of thousands of smartphones for 5G, you know.
Yeah, and all the other gadgets are going to beam at each other because it's going to be your fridge and your cat litter tray and your baby's nappies. It's crazy.
It's a big industry, massive industry, isn't it?
Absolutely, and also one thing that's very much overlooked, but which is really serious, is the ethical component of this. I mean, the amount of mining, which is also very harmful to the environment, because we shouldn't just look at a carbon footprint, we should look at the ecological footprint. The ecological footprint of mining these rare earth materials and everything we need for smartphones, but for 5G it will be far more because we need, suddenly so-called need more gadgets. We don't need them really, but that's what they make us think we do. And then these people mining this, children often, a lot of them dying, there's masses of people already who've died for our gadget addiction. There's a blood trail going from our gadgets right to the coast of Africa, Congo, and other places on this planet, which are being raped, frankly, for our addiction, because that's what it is. And again, as I've said before, I'm not against progress, I'm not against technology, because technology has a place, but it needs to be thoughtful, it needs to be biosensitive, soft to the planet, and this is not. This is something that is to do with money making, frankly, because the industry wants to make a lot of money out of it. And of course, they're collecting our data. So once we have all these gadgets in our house, and then we know from Alexa, etc., they will be able to know all our habits and sell them to the highest bidder, if you like, to sell off our data.
Even spy on you, can't they?
Yeah, of course. The governments can spy on us.
Especially if they roll it out properly, this 5G, which they intend doing, They can 3D map your house with these antennas, see what you're doing, see through your walls and stuff.
Absolutely. And
when say, oh no, they can't do that. The technology is zoomed on at a rate of knots, people won't believe. When I was talking about them putting thousands of satellites up a couple of years ago, I was getting people coming, I can't do that, they couldn't do the fuel, they haven't got logistics, can't do that. No, there's no way that's going to happen. It's happening as we speak, isn't it?
It's happening as we speak. It's almost like science fiction. You couldn't believe it. A few years ago you thought it's not happening, but it is happening. I mean, I know Elon Musk is experimenting with microchips in a pig's brain.
Crazy man.
Because eventually what they want is to connect our brain to this, As yet it's a gadget, but of course the Internet of Things will beam through us because we are electric. We are our body. We are an electromagnetic field. And it's messing with all these frequencies, with our frequency. They're messing with our frequency, literally.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is something that we need to look into now before it's too late. Because once we're in this soup, and we're already, as you explained in London, in a soup, electromagnetic radiation soup already, which is harming us. 4G, 3G, already harming us.
Yeah, Wi-Fi. Terrible.
But 5G will be inescapable everywhere. And this is why these people all over the world, beautiful pictures. We also have statue protests, so we have Stop 5G signs on statues from all over the world, from Gandhi to Buddha to Jean d'Arc, and all these people, famous people saying stop to 5G via their statues. Also animal statues, beautiful. And we had the beach pictures, of course. But none of it made the mainstream media, and that is the issue. Yeah, it made, fortunately, other media outlets, and it's been shared across the globe.
You know, it's all owned, isn't it, by the elites, basically, by the industry.
There we are,
And,
but we have to get through.
They're even starting to, well, they've been doing it for ages now, but censoring YouTube channels and that now.
Yeah, of course, there's a lot of censor going on. And that is the problem, because even if you don't mention the C word, the virus, and we don't, because we look at peer-reviewed studies, we look at health, the effect on health, including immune system, as well as bees, birds, butterflies, environment in general. That's enough. There's already enough proof. You don't even need to link it to any virus or anything like that, but although we know that electromagnetic radiation makes bacteria and viruses thrive. And it also makes air pollution more deadly. So we know these things. But you don't need to mention the virus, because what you can do...
When you say we know these things, we
do. Only focus on what's there.
You know, people have been doing the research and looking into it, but the majority don't. They believe everything that's thrown at them through that media.
Yeah, of course.
Buy our new 5G phone, you're going to have faster speeds. You can download a video in 3-4 seconds. And that's all they're interested in, you know.
Yeah. People are being sold a pup, because it really isn't about the faster download speeds.
It
is about selling them the Internet of Things, and then eventually autonomous cars, of course, and eventually hooking yourself up to some kind of matrix.
I can't see it working in the end anyway.
Who in their right mind would like that?
You know, a lot of people are going to be suffering in the meantime, you know. It's just a thing.
Exactly, and as we said, nature already, the planet, its magnetosphere, the ionosphere, which is very sensitive and delicately balanced, that's being threatened. We are playing with fire.
Definitely.
And if you want to put a shed up in your garden, you need permission. But some people, Mr. Musk, for example, can send up hundreds, thousands of satellites in the sky, but that's our commons. Space is sacred, and they are literally, because space debris will of course be a big issue, our skies. And this is something that is precious and that we all should really cherish, and not just shoot up things, toys for boys, I was going to say, but it's for girls nowadays as well. But yeah, the global protest was big. It has made certain outlets, and this is only the beginning. We are continuing, and what we're doing on the 24th of October, which is UN Day.
Yes, I'll be in London at that time again, but that's pretty soon. It's a Saturday, isn't it?
Well, this is an online action, so everybody can do it. It's sending a letter, which is pre-written, but you can adapt it to your own taste, to the UN and WHO, urging them to set a moratorium on 5G until it's been proven to be safe. And of course, we have all the arguments there, not just health and environment, but the e-waste. E-waste is environment, of course, but also the ethical mining, etc. Which it's the whole picture we need to look at. So people could say, oh, the UN is corrupt, what will they care? But if thousands of us write, that's when we can get through. So it's every time again, every one of you need to do something, and you can send this letter easily. Stop 5G International themselves are sending a much longer letter, so it's going to be a more intricate letter sent to the UN. So that's our first action, but we're not stopping there, because in December, on the 20th, that's the day before midwinter solstice, and this is symbolic, of course. Midwinter solstice is the darkest day. Hopefully after that it will get, it gets lighter in the physical world, but we also hope in the sense of 5G that it's going to get lighter again, in the sense that we're going to make a stand. We're going to have candlelit vigils across the globe, and these candlelit vigils are going to be making a stand for a world which is whole, which is environmentally friendly for real, and which promotes technology which is based on wisdom and which is thoughtful and soft to the planet.
Yeah.
So watch this space, 20th of December,
Yeah.
day before midwinter solstice. We're going to be out there again.
Good on you, Tanya. I admire your tenacity, and hopefully you're going to keep it up. And thanks for coming over and having a chat. That's great.
Thank you, Derek,
Thank
very
you.
much. My pleasure.